family environment too.
Family,
They say that.
They like the awards we do, but we learned that by knowing, hey, maybe we improve on this, maybe we improve on that. You know, that those are the ones now. But before that, we had all the non-positive ones. We still have non-positive because, man, people lose. They sometimes they think they, you know,
they're gonna blame you.
they're
Like,
gonna
these
blame-
guys.
Yeah.
The two biggest things, I mean, this is a personal thing. The two biggest things for me when it comes to tournament is we talked about referees, that, and being on time.
On time, yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
huge.
One thing that we personally do this, we try to stand. Takes a lot, basically on Josie. Find the standard venues because we want you to come and have a seat. You bring your wife, your grandmother. You go to the bathroom. It's clean.
No.
None of the tournaments do that. The guys are big, like grappling. They're big.
Hey, we start to record on that, okay? Just
Right,
to let
so,
them know.
I was gonna jump on the grappling industry too. You're not alone, bro. I got plenty of things to say about them.
No, like those guys are 10 years in the industry. They haven't done anything for that. But we're trying to standardize since the
So go to the same locations. It's reliable.
Yeah.
You know where it's gonna be. It's clean.
clean, good seating.
Seating, yeah.
We want to respect the athletes, the coaches, and the spectators. You know, like it's not only the athletes. Man, who's supporting the athlete? Man, maybe the grandmother. You want the grandmother throwing on the floor, throwing around, and like
Or need to bring her own chair, you know.
It's kind of like we try to standardize. It does cost more money. It does makes it harder in the organization to do because booking those places are more expensive. They
Take
are
more
harder
time
to
too.
find,
Take more
you know.
time.
They ask us, hey, I can tell you the date in a month, but how can we market one event in 1 month? We need like 3, 4, 5 months to start marketing that event. You know, it's kind of like the way we try to work. We really wanna. Our goal is to bring jiu-jitsu more professional. So we're trying to make looking professional because when you bring one of your students' parents, they look to your school back to where you bring them as a tournament. Like you go to a chaotic tournament, they be like, "Oh, that's how it is."
Yeah,
If you bring
that's
them
our
to a
jiu-jitsu.
professional environment, they're like, "Man, that's a professional. Cool. That's awesome. That's how they treat my son or my family relative in the place." You know, they are professional because you connect with the organization that you compete. You know, and we want to be connected with professionalism. That's kind of how we try to run our schools. We don't want a chaotic school because chaotic schools, it's chaotic in your life, you know. So we want to try to be professional, bring more, we're professional more. We're trying to be more professional into the showcasing the tournaments. Soon, once we have enough, we'll start getting bigger and bigger. Then we get professional payments. You know, how can we now? Now we can. We're a company that's growing. We're sustainable and paying athletes, but we want to be sustainable. We don't want to
do the super fights.
super fights. We don't want to be a tournament that comes and goes.
You want to grow.
Yeah, well, like
Yeah.
sometimes you see people like, oh, I put 100,000 and they quit. They never back again. So when we build something that's not sustainable, it doesn't really help the industry. Sometimes hurts because people now start thinking about, oh, that's what I need to get check paid, but there's not realistic, you know, yet to get paid that amount because that's not bringing the same revenue to the sport, to the companies yet, you know. Like we want to grow sustainably. Man, we can pay those guys. We can pay those guys forever this amount and just more and more. You know, not just something we pay once and we're done. Because we have seen you guys see so many events
coming in and go out.
And paying good investment, but they never really make it. So
Metamoris.
Metamorph.
Yeah, people talk about they don't.
Never gonna say that
It's
in a
true. You never get paid.
Never got
it. Happens, man.
compete there?
I went out there to
Serious?
LA, signed the contract.
Crazy. But a
I
lot.
heard he wasn't.
I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, that's what I say. You're not
Those
the
are
only
big
one.
things.
It's
Wow.
pretty known. It's
Yeah.
known.
But other events come like, okay, $10,000 on this bracket, $10,000 on this bracket, doing one event,
They're done.
and don't do it again, you know. And That's
Remember
the.
this event, Third Coast?
I do know Third
Throughout
Coast.
the
I
Texas.
I fought this event.
Hey, where
I
where
fought.
are they?
They disappear. Yeah.
There's a Third
Now-
Coast record company. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, well, it's down in.
Turns
It was
into a record
it was
company.
supposed to be the Third Coast. I think is Texas, right?
Yeah.
Like South Texas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've never heard of it either.
Interesting.
But I kept track of it because like, this looks like it was a pro league. They were
Yeah.
paying athletes pretty good, like you
Super,
said.
yeah.
3 events,
That what it was.
Yeah.
It seemed like it wasn't many.
something.
Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit
A
more.
couple,
than
but you're right. I haven't seen him in
yeah,
what
they
a
stopped.
year or two or something.
You know,
No.
It's done.
None.
If we keep it doing that, athletes never gonna really have the opportunity to be stable financially, because if we grow in a way where, man, now those athletes get paid as amount. Now we look professional, so athletes can have sponsor just because they're presenting their work inside PBJF organization, because now the sponsor sees the professional environment and organization we have, so they can really expose their brand in a positive way. Because you don't want to connect your brand with, if you're, you know, an entrepreneur, with someone that doesn't really follow the professionalism that maybe your company requires. You know?
Okay, just to get this line before we keep doing. Shout out to our sponsors.
Shout out to our sponsor.
Brave Kimonos. If you want to get discount on Brave website, use PBJJF 10. If you are a school owner, Brave Kimonos doing a wholesale. You can fill it up your wholesale
form.
account, form, and you get like a best price to retail these on your school. PBS CRAWLSPACE Foundation. If you wanna work on the CRAWLSPACE on your house or like foundations, that's the guys. Parks Dental Care. If you're in the Baltimore area, Parks Dental Care is the best dentist to you looking for. All right, and
PBS,
Santos,
CRAWLSPACE.
I just talk about PBS. Santos Law Firm is the law company. You need to go. They were the best on it, like immigration and everything. Okay, I personally use it.
Me
My
too.
my brother, the office work with the Santos Law Firm. My school a lot of, and I highly recommend. Good. If you wanna support PBJJF, if you wanna become a sponsor, send an email for professionaljujitsu@gmail.com and we can
And
get in
a
touch.
feedback I get for people that they join is like, man, you guys really put the sponsors everywhere. We put on social media. We really try to not because we like when they sponsor, we want to make sure they get their investment back by sponsoring PBJJF. So if you guys are watching, if you ever need a immigration law service, man, go to whoever's helping jiu-jitsu to grow.
Yep.
If you need gis, Brave Kimonos. If you need any installation or beginning of a house foundation, PBS CRAWLSPACE Foundation. And if you need, you're in the Baltimore area, and you need a dentist, go to Perkins Dental Care. So we want to bring Dr. James to come and talk to us about that too. And you also have a company. Let's give a shout out to your company too.
Oh, payments.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. So I have a payment processing company. You can check out Jiu-Jitsu Pay or Primo Payments. It's me. And we'll help your small business with payment processing.
Better fees.
Better fees, direct customer service, good technology. Get to work with me.
All right, that's the way to go.
That's the way to
Maybe
go.
you can go and train with Scott.
Maybe I'll
too.
And
train. If you
today-
don't like your payments, you can fight me.
And today we speak with Scott Des and Alfredo Atencio. Atencio, right?
So Scott's from District MMA and Alfredo's Capital MMA.
That's correct. Yeah.
That's awesome to have you guys both from DC here to have a great conversation. See how jiu-jitsu is growing in the DC. You guys being in the industry for a while. So yeah, thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Scott on the second time, yeah.
Second time, yeah. We have a little bit of,
Veteran.
Yeah.
we have a little bit of a issue, I think, on your podcast with
The last one.
the mic. I think something like that happens because we're in the first
Yeah, the first
of the
generation. The,
podcast.
Gen
the
one.
mic, the mic is different. You know.
But
Thanks
thank
for
you guys.
thank you for saying it was the microphone and not the user.
No, it's
It's definitely the
mic,
microphone.
It was on us. It was on us.
You said you're going to Rome to compete.
Yeah,
Nice.
Tuesday.
So
I feel like that name of yours sounds pretty Italian to me.
I am not Italian, actually.
Alfredo?
No, Venezuelan.
Venezuelan. Okay.
Alfred.
Look
Were
like
you born there or your family?
I was born. No, I was born there, but we moved to the States when I was a baby. But we used to go visit twice a year for the summer, and then during the holidays until I was about 15, and then stopped going.
How is Venezuela? Venezuela's kind of crazy right now, right?
Yeah, it's progressively onwards. I still have family members that moved there. I mean, still live
They live
there.
there.
But most have moved away now to places like Austin and Florida.
No.
If they ever need a law service, immigration law
Yeah,
service.
Santos Law Firm.
Santos Lloyd Law Firm, the best way to go. But
There we go.
but seriously, I see like because Brazil's close to Venezuela, you know, we see like sometimes. I'm
The
not,
economy
I'm not
and,
big into
Pilot.
the politics.
They're
going
getting a
on,
little
but
bit closer though, right?
Brazil and Venezuela?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're
Yeah, I
talking
think of the now
Presidents.
the president, you know,
Right.
they're kind of like more connected, I guess. But I hope in Brazil and Venezuela everything.
Yeah, I hope to visit again soon. I would like to go back, but I remember I was talking with some Colombians and I asked them, like, how many Venezuelans do you know? And I was like, there's more Venezuelans in Colombia now because of people trying to get
Yeah.
out than there are Colombians. That's the kind of the point it's gotten to because there just isn't opportunity or running water sometimes. So you have to get out, find a better life.
What is the best thing you like about Venezuela?
I think about the food.
Food.
Yeah, I just think about sitting around the table with the family and we're all,
The
las sobremesa,
moment, like being around the family.
Yeah, and just talking, eating food, and that's kind of what I think about. And, holidays.
What is
Yeah, I miss that a lot too.
What is your
when-
favorite food, Venezuelan? What is the type of?
So if I get like a hangry, like there's a place nearby, I go for an empanada.
Empanada.
Yeah, an empanada. Yeah.
Empanadas.
Is empanada
Kind of like,
like,
pastel. Kind
is
of like
pastel
like pastel in
or-
Brazil. But not like a fry. That's kind of like an assado. I don't know how to say.
You just put whatever you want into it, but yeah, just some pulled beef, plantains, beans, rice. I can eat that every day.
Yeah,
I'll be
we
fine.
have it. We have like a similar
Taste.
tasting
Sure.
in Brazil,
I
but we
used to
call
work
pastel assado.
Oh, okay.
Oh, pastel.
I used to work at a Brazilian steakhouse too, so I'm a little familiar with the style.
What is your best favorite Brazilian meat cut?
Oh, man, flank steak's always good. Sirloin's delicious, but
In Portuguese, you know.
no, I don't remember.
Are you looking for
Picanha.
picanha? He wants a picanha.
Because
Hey,
that's
I
nice.
always goes like just picanha this table.
Just
please.
picanha,
Just
that's it.
picanha.
Keep it coming.
Keep it just.
It never made sense to me why people come to the Brazilian steakhouse and order chicken. It just didn't make sense.
Yeah,
Why
I
would
don't
you?
like to.
Just
I
go
I get
somewhere
like
else.
Josh picanha,
Just
please.
picanha. And
Get a
sometimes like,
little bit of salad in the beginning, just to.
No, is
Say
this a
you did.
Brazilian?
Picanha, come on.
Is this a Brazilian? Because I didn't know. We did it at the restaurant, but it was like grilled pineapple with cinnamon on top.
Yeah, that's a Brazilian thing.
That's a Brazilian thing.
Yeah, but
okay.
I like to do like when I start getting full, I get some
Digest.
pineapple,
Yeah.
help on the digest, and
Yeah.
then we'll eat more.
For sure.
It's good.
have you been
He's trying to go to absolute weight class.
Yeah, and a heavyweight,
Yeah.
guys.
You're probably cutting weight right now.
I'm as long as I don't go to the churrascaria, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm good.
You fight the
I'm
feather.
doing, I'm doing
featherweight,
light,
light
62.5. So I've been kind of heavy at night.
So
which
what
is
is the what is your preparation now for
right now? I've kind of gone through the hardest parts of training. Thank God, and I'm not injured. Knock on the table. Yeah, I feel pretty good. Actually, I feel really good. But I have a couple training sessions left, and then I fly Tuesday night, arrive Wednesday 2 or something like that in the afternoon, and I believe Friday. Action.
That's your first match.
Man,
Yeah, yeah.
good luck. Have fun.
Thanks,
I really like travel to compete.
It's fun.
Like it's funny. Like how the environment,
We're gonna have 10 other people from my team with me. So
So wow, that's
we're
even
like-
that's even
we're on a
even fun.
campaign.
Yeah, even better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this ski or no?
Get
This is no-gi.
You're doing
So this is the European no-gi championships, and then they're attaching to it the Rome Open gi. So it'll be
Two
Wednesday.
events in the same.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
same-
right.
same
It's like
weekend.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They'll do no-gi follows gi.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Do you do mostly gi or no gi?
I do mostly no-gi.
Okay.
I got my black belt in 2017, and I did a lot of gi when I first came out of the gates as a black belt. And I still train. I teach and I do private lessons in the gi. But for competition, it's been no gi for 4 years exclusively. He does a little bit of both. I know that.
I do both. Yeah, I still do both.
Yeah.
But now I just teach and do a lot of MMA practice, but I fought the boards master in the gear, Don't
That was
train
this
that
year.
much. But this year, yeah.
You won, right?
I won double gold. Yeah.
Champ.
I found a way to win sometimes. Maybe not on the best shape and the best technical levels, but
Find a way to win. Find a way to win.
Find a way to win, and
Find a way to win.
that's the way to go. But yeah, I like to do both. I feel like you one complete each other when on my train. Cause sometimes I'm bored on just like training the gear, and I'm like, okay, I'll go train no gear for 2 weeks, and boom, train no gear for 2 weeks, and I'm like, fuck that shit. Then back to the gear, and I'll keep like on back and forth like this,
Whatever
I
keeps
like
you
it.
on the mat, like whatever's
Yeah.
fun, is kind of how I always my personal preference.
But I started training no gear older. In Brazil, cultural is gear. I compete when I'm like blue belt here, purple belt. I won awards on the purple belt, but always like training gear whole year. We go fight to compete in 2-3 weeks, and then you take the gear. You train the gear, take the top, do 2-3 rounds no gear, get like 2 or 3 techniques you wanna drill a little bit, and go travel, And like my first this tournament is funny. I was only training gear, pulling guard everybody. I'm like, man, but my guard in no gear kind of trash. I gotta found like a good takedowns, Bro, I drew for 2 weeks like the same double leg entries. Boom, we snap it down, shoot the double leg. I take it down everybody in the same way. But then they finally take down the guy. The guy, boom, put me on a foot lock, man. I almost broke my foot. And like last minute to the fight is over, I'm like, man, I'm not gonna tap 2-0. I'll beat this guy. My foot like just come like that, and I keep on top like holding, and I beat him by 2-0. But cost me like maybe 3-4 months
Of walking.
of walking like.
You'd be
That-
surprised how one snap down double leg works on
Yeah.
everyone.
Like to the train, I just did that like 4 mats, 4 double legs, and it works pretty well. But now it's different. I feel like you
Wrestling's
need
a little bit,
it's
a little bit higher.
higher, and like the guys who coming from wrestling too is way more. I feel on that time it's kind of like the jiu-jitsu guys competing no gi too. Now we have like the no gi guys. It's kind of different.
Specialists.
Like, specialists.
Now, are those worlds melding more? Like in the U.S., we have a very strong wrestling culture, so jiu-jitsu and wrestling blending together was bound to happen eventually.
Yeah.
But in the rest of the world, do you still see that in the European countries? Like, are you expecting to find a lot of good
I'll
wrestlers?
tell you when I find out.
Yeah.
The guys I've looked up in my bracket so far, mostly jiu-jitsu style. But it's Europe, and people can come from all over.
Sure.
As you said, I think generally here in the U.S., there's this blend, and it's a general statement, but I think in the jiu-jitsu world, the blend of wrestling, we're talking about wrestling, I'll just put it that way. I think it tends to be a little bit more competitive in the U.S. wrestling-wise. I mean, I'd be curious to hear what you guys think.
I feel that too. Brazil is not that popular, It's still
Judo's bigger.
judo's big.
Yeah,
Judo
that's
is big.
fascinating.
Yeah,
That's
judo is
just-
huge in Brazil.
But you had judo players in France.
There's
France is-
a lot of judo in Europe. I mean, there's obviously really good wrestling. You have the Russians. You the further east you go, the better they get at wrestling. Now, do those dudes all cross over into jiu-jitsu? How's their jiu-jitsu versus just their wrestling? I'll let you know. I'll let you know soon.
In Europa, judo is kind of huge.
big too,
It's
yeah.
big too. Yeah,
But
have
one
like the
thing that I've seen-
Ted, his name, the guy like huge man, like three.
French,
French
right?
guy.
He's from
French guy,
France.
Yeah.
Oh, Teddy Rene.
Teddy
Rene,
Rene, that
Ted
guy.
Rene, man. These guys scare, man.
Huge.
But he
He's
lost
huge.
last.
Well, after 10 words, title, that's okay.
Yeah.
One thing
Yeah.
but the difference I see, is judo in Brazil, right? Judo in Brazil, parents put judo, kids in judo for discipline,
Discipline.
for respect.
Yeah.
You know, same for jiu-jitsu. But in the U.S., wrestling is not for that. Wrestling is for to go to college.
That's
you
true.
see the purpose of bringing people to the sport. You know, wrestling. Like I see the kids from wrestling. Sometimes they're the most
Aggressive.
the respectful kids. It's like, oh, man, respect them. Like I had a kid in a tournament, like hit the other one on the back. Of the coaches came like, man, what's like? This should be disqualified, you know, because sometimes we lose the respect side of things because of sport, but they should all be merged together, you know, fair play and respect, you know, stuff like that really matters for the future of our next generation, you know.
But I
It's
don't think
important
so.
to be
The West,
competitive.
they care.
No, but
For
it's okay
real.
to not care. It's okay to not care, but
But should
so
it be
we're
like
gonna pay
this now?
back
Yeah.
with the next generation. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes we don't educate the generation away, and we get the result now. You know that we have seen, unfortunately, positives and negatives on those sides. You know, but I think there's a purpose of why we're doing something. You know, like because we influence athletes, influence people. You know, like Michael Jordan influenced people,
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant. You know, and other guys, you know, are influenced. Like you're a kid, man. I want to be like him.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy could be the worst role model.
But people say about Kobe,
People-
he
yeah.
was the means guy to compete and to be part of the on the team too. Cause we lost because you trash. You gotta stay and like shoot 100.
Jordan was like that
Yeah,
too.
Jordan's like that too. Yeah, like these guys who like
They want to win.
like get in the next level crazy.
Their mind is
Their
different.
mind is
They
Their
different.
mind's
Yeah,
different.
yeah. But they're not
good
that
role
nice
models.
too.
They're good role
But-
models for the outside. You know, yeah.
When you go on the Easter, I don't think so. For real.
You're wearing Jordan right now.
I like that.
Well,
No, I
definitely good business.
no, it's good business. I like Jordan, but I like the mindset too. Then be a little bit mean, for real. It's not a good example, and like he had a good example on titles, on like what he did, but like on his persona, he a little bit mean.
Very mean.
Yeah, I'm the best whatever.
But,
And
but let me ask you this:
selfish, yeah.
definitely. Well, if you guys have watched the documentary, the Michael Jordan one on, it's so good. You should
good.
check it out.
Is the,
It's on Netflix.
I
It's
watched
The Last Dance.
The movie. It's like a movie.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a movie. He seemed like he was like a fanatic, and selfish sort of, but also like he was trying to like make the teammates
Better.
better. So I mean, you could make an argument that maybe he's selfishly making them better, but his emphasis was on like, yo, I need you to do X, Y, and Z, and like obviously he was like a tyrant the way he did that. But without the other teammates, and like a lot of them some of them like stood up for it. They're like, yeah, like I appreciated him making us all perform better.
Yeah.
Some people, I would say, like for some people that role model is good. Like some people, maybe like the little crazy wrestler kid who's smacking people in the neck, like that comes from a competitive place. And for some people, they need that, right? Like, I mean, some fighters, some competitive people, like that's the way their mind works. For normal people, they won't understand that, or they won't want that. Like not everyone wants to be treated like a Spartan and be kind of like talked down to, which is
But-
good. But if you can compartmentalize and kind of toggle between
Talking
the
a
two.
good way about the West, is I really like when I get the white belt.
No, they're
Coming from the
so
West,
tough.
I show the move
The
and they like,
mindset-
boom, look. I'm like, thanks God.
They did it right away.
Bring more guys
Show
like
him-
this.
show him one time.
One time, cause he already understand his body movements
coach.
and everything. Yes, coach.
They're
And he,
prepared,
and
they're
he do
prepared.
100 times. And
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
more people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand the
They are prepared, but I think the fair play and all those aspects that sometimes is not taught. The respect. Sometimes like I want to win for all costs. No, I don't want to win for all costs.
Yeah.
That's where good coaching comes in. Like, you know, you have to have good
You
leadership.
need a good leadership.
I don't want to win
yeah.
for all costs. Winning for all costs is doing whatever I want to
Well,
win.
yeah, that's true.
You know, I can cheat, I can do that. You know, like no, there's no all costs. you know. So,
But some coach will make you think like that. That's it.
but we build those kids for the generation. Oh, I want to win for all costs. I win $1,000. I can't win for somebody because I just want that. I cannot follow rules to achieve my goal. No. You have to win by following the rules and working hard. That's how you win. You know, it's not but the way you want to achieve that goal. It's how you follow your values, rules to not go to jail. You know, like sometimes you see people want things for all costs with not following the rules and they get in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, I think like it's important to teach that for the next generation because sometimes they get like, oh, I want this because I deserve this. No, I'm not a deserve. I should have this. No, you have to deserve something. You know, you gotta work hard for that. You have both sides of it. You know.
It sounds like you're just kind of advocating balance with the person.
Yeah.
You know, like you might get that super aggro person, and you need to like kind of tone him down. But that goes back to what you're saying about being a good coach. And then some people you need to be like, hey,
you build them up.
you build them up a little bit because they're not sure of themselves. So you need to kind of build their confidence. Like I think it depends on the athlete that you have underneath you. And it takes a good coach to recognize those two things. Because like you said, if you try to aim someone up that doesn't want, that's gonna backfire.
Maybe on West is kind of a little bit aggressive with his sport to found that balance. Maybe is hard sometimes. You know, being a coach too, like okay, I'll push like more aggressive mindset on him, but on the same time I need to keep him respectful people. It's hard. I don't think so. It's easy work. Cause jiu-jitsu, man,
being humble, you know.
yeah, it's hard to teach you that. Like when you get there, 3 minutes. Is that I think it's 3 minutes rounds. 3 minutes round,
You gotta go. You gotta go.
West they don't stop. You feel like I don't know. It's different. Yeah, I feel that now because you fight MMA too. You have a different mindset. You see he get more relaxed for MMA than jiu-jitsu. I'm on the upside. Like on the weightings, on the week already my mindset is skill. You know what I mean? When I fight MMA. Jiu-jitsu, no, I'm chill. I'm like nice. I talk with the guys I will fight before. Maybe I don't want to look at you. You know what I mean? Like it's
a different attitude.
Different attitude.
And like on experience as well, because how many times you compete in jiu-jitsu with how many times you compete in MMA? Experience.
Maybe I hope I get on this relax one day for real because it's stressful.
You know you're getting hit.
Yeah.
Like it's different. You know the brain damage. Yeah, it is just more stressful. It's more like.
But my dream is get on the mindset I have for jiu-jitsu on MMA. Calm, man. Jiu-jitsu sometimes I sleep on a barricade before jump to fight. You know what I mean? I'm calm. MMA is different. You know, and I feel wrestling kind of like it. On the same way because it's more aggressive.
It's like I think what I like about the way wrestlers like I'll use like the good examples, and I think most of them are like this. But what they show in like a wrestling practice or a match, tournament, whatever, is like they're super aggressive. Like when the match starts, it's like they shift into like combat mode. It's a rough sport. Like it's just like it's a combat sport. Jiu-jitsu combat sport. It's the gentle art, but it's a combat sport. So they'll smash heads, they'll bang, and like they stay in the zone until the 3 minutes is up, and then afterwards it's knuckles, high fives, all that good job. But it's like it's business, bing bing, and it's gonna be rough. And the referee, like even like what we talked about, our world's maybe a little different. Jiu-jitsu is different, but very similar. The referee has to keep it contained, and from letting the two sides get like emotionally out of balance and then cause the negativity, like you said. But I mean, you watch some of these guys go in the Olympics, like guys are getting their head taped up, like they're bleeding, they're bashing into each other, and then when it's over, shake hands, get off the mat.
We're talking about the top. But I saw a kid going to another one and say, I lost to that kid wrestling. I'm gonna freaking KO you next time. Man, come on.
I would say kids though too. This is a kid being dumb.
But this kid is going to take care of that attitude as an adult.
I've seen some fights almost happen at tournaments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At
These are
PBJJF, we don't.
Yeah, we don't want any of that.
We
not
try
want that.
educating, you know.
Well, like you can be the toughest guy. That's kind of how I see it. The toughest guys were the most nice, humble guys that I. Marcelo Garcia, man, walking around like, man, this guy he can break everybody in this room here. It's the most humble guy you're gonna see. You know, like I think you can.
It can be done. No, for sure.
But if we embrace, like, man, you can be the toughest guy, but you still can be that person. I think that's
The goal.
the goal, you know, like for the future. Man, you're gonna be gone. Like we're already done what we've done. We gotta look for the next generation. We're not gonna do as much
Coming from,
as they can.
but like he said, come from the leadership, from the coach, I think so. They
Yeah, I don't think those
change
people
that.
tend to last
Yeah.
though, right? Like they usually that attitude is not sustainable long term. Some people make it through the course. There's always like a few.
Hey, life with chit man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And like whether if it's the team and the environment that or a coach that cultivates that type of negativity, man, people don't like that. People leave. It starts to like you call it toxic, call it whatever you want. People are like, man, I don't want any of that. Like, and everyone else sees it. So like over time, people like they change or people just keep leaving them. So I mean, of course, from time to time, there's going to be individuals who they never change their attitude, but they're still hanging around. For them, a lot of times, maybe that kid, that 10-year-old or whatever, gets his dad, his mom, his coach, whatever, teacher. He finds out in other aspects of his life that type of behavior is not. It's not good. You got to outgrow it. And then maybe that kid, from 10 to 16 is a completely different kid.
Sometimes
We hope.
see-
We hope.
Sometimes we saw that on the
But the
jiu-jitsu
mindset
mat.
of working hard is incredible for the wrestlers. Man, they work hard.
It's wild.
And anything, like that's such a great lesson. I think I see from man. I think every kid should wrestle if possible and learn wrestle and jiu-jitsu because they're
so similar.
Yes, and like man, they learn how to be humble in jiu-jitsu. Like they learn
get
how to be smart.
Some kids need to get on the Western just to get a little bit aggressive, just a little bit.
I think it's like trying to find that balance, for both ways. Some kids they need aggressively to be more aggressive. Some kids need to be more
Humble.
pull down, humble.
But we see some kids get on a jiu-jitsu too, and they don't know how to lost. He don't get event like much knows on his life, and he like 5-6 years, and when he come back, he learn how to lost and be humble. You know what I mean? Maybe that kid on that process. I hope so, because I see that a lot in the gym. Not in my school now, but before I was teaching at ground control, and I get to at one point get one kid there. Man, he cried almost every class. He lost and he mad. He slapped the mat, And his mom wanna take him from jiu-jitsu. I'm like, no,
I don't want him.
he need to keep it here. That's if he learn now, he gonna learn on the life in the future, and he gonna hurt way more. Let he lost. He need this loss. He need knows. He need to get a little bit more in control. He go learn. Let he keep training, and eventually, pass like 6 months, 1 year, he completely different in the match. He angry, but he control himself. He stopped like cry. He stopped snap that. But you can tell he's angry. I look at him and he like, but act different. Do you understand?
But for you both, what are the biggest challenges or lessons to you guys learn by being a coach, professor in jiu-jitsu?
Would you like to go first?
You go ahead.
Oh, sure. I think it's trying to change the training room from a room of competition into a room of learning. I'm not really interested in trying to make anyone, as a coach, make anyone faster, stronger, more athletic. We're here to learn jiu-jitsu. So I'm not interested necessarily like how that you win. I want to see how you win. Do you win with technique or do you win just because you're bigger or you're faster? That's going to go away eventually. We're all going to lose that at some point. So it's your technique that we need to be developing in the room. And the second you have to compensate with your athleticism, you're losing an aspect of jiu-jitsu, I think, of like what we're there to do. Now, we reinforce our technique with strength and speed, but technique comes first, and then everything else supplements it. and getting people out of that mindset of like, we're not here to compete. I don't care if I win or lose. I just want to learn something or get a little bit better at whatever I'm working on that day. And most people, especially in DC, are super competitive. So trying to get them out of that mindset of like,
They lap for the dollar.
Yeah.
no, they have whatever you want, but like being extra competitive with someone who's been doing it for 10 years isn't going to help you. But learning the moves will eventually get you to be competitive with that person. I don't know if that makes sense.
Make a lot of sense. So.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest problem I run into mostly is just calming people down. And then they say, I am calm. Like, you're not calm. You're not calm at all.
Kind of like getting them ready to learn.
Kind of, yeah.
Massaging their mind and you're like, all right, now you're ready to learn instead of just fight.
Yeah, slow down. That's the main thing is slow down.
That's good. Challenge, right? For me, over the years of coaching and then like running an academy and a team, I try to think about like a system, a simplified baseline of like a system that everyone benefits from. And that has, I still think about it. It's kind of like an ongoing challenge that I like because it gets me always kind of redefining how I approach teaching people, whether it is for competition or like a fundamentals class. Like what's the baseline principle? Maybe it's like defensive, maybe it's offensive. Like there's a connectivity of like different things I want to convey, but how do I make it simple so that like anyone, whether they're like a brown belt or like a day one white belt, can learn? Because the reason why I say all this to kind of bring it down like simplified here is if I have a class of 30 people and I've got like a black belt over here and a white belt over here, I can't teach 10 moves, one for the black belt, one for the blue belt, one for the purple belt, one for the white belt. If I'm talking, like everyone needs to hopefully get something out of it, including the black belt. So how do I like find, maybe one thing on the hip escape that I know everyone will learn from? And then the other challenge for me is like trying to explain it simply, few words, clear to understand, so then people can go do it. Because like, let's say you have an hour. So for me, it's all about like economics and like efficiency. Like, all right, like I'm going to have 40 people on the mat. I've got 55 minutes to teach. 20 minutes of that they're gonna roll. 10 or 15 minutes is gonna be a warm up, which means I really only have this much time to talk. Mm-hmm. And then within that time to talk, I want to talk a little bit so they can practice. Yeah. So what's the minimum effective amount of speaking and like ideas that will have like the biggest impact? And I don't claim to have it figured out. I'm still working on it, but that's the challenge. I'm like, what is it? Is it like sometimes so it's all about like how do I structure a class? How do I make it in a short period of time as impactful as possible? Some people have like 45 minutes. They gotta go see their kids. Maybe I only have an hour, and like I got other stuff to do, and I want to get real good training or be a really good coach for the day. So it's like, what's gonna have the biggest punch, timing wise? Nice. And it's still a challenge.
Yeah, do you have a way of planning out your lessons at all? Like, do you do it like a month ahead, 2 months? Like, do you have?
Yeah, we have a curriculum.
You have a curriculum that you made yourself? Or?
I've made it with other, like my teammates and black belts. So it's sort of like a committee, if you will. It's not just me. But when it comes to I have thought a lot about like the way I like to run the class. I'm 36 and I've got some. I feel great right now, but I've been injured lots of times. So like I'm real big on making sure everyone's warmed up. Mm-hmm. Gotta have a warm up. But in a short period of time, let's say I've got an hour to teach, like I want my warm-up to be functional. Meaning like every minute we're on the mat, we're doing something that makes you better at jiu-jitsu. Maybe it's like, all right, shrimp, boom, boom. Like that's a skill. Yep. Right? It's not jumping jack. Jump like there's
all the time and
do I always shrimp? No, I don't.
I think we do, no? Like we're in the play
That's good.
We're consistently
That's
moving,
good.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I think shrimp is forever.
Oh no, 100%. I'm just saying I don't always do it. I'm just saying it's kind of like I'm like confessing to you guys. I kind of skip my shrimping.
No. I mean not doing, but like while you're rolling, you probably do a lot.
Oh no. Oh, I mean, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like I do. I basically the only escape I show is a hip escape. I do more than that, but like when I people are like let's do defense, and I'm like all right, we're gonna do a hip escape. It's the same thing we did last week, and the week before, and the week before, and the year before, and the year before that. Like
everybody's like your butt scopes.
we can do that too. We can do that too. But I'm like, if you want to be good at escaping, we're gonna hip escape again, and again, and again, and again. And that's kind of why I was going back to saying, like, talking about a hip escape to the black belt might be able to better understand it. Actually, will better understand it than a white belt because they've heard, like, they understand the language I'm about to speak. Whereas the white belts kind of they just need to show up. Just show up. Just get your mileage. You know. No, I mean I want you here, but like it's okay if you don't understand it. I know you don't understand.
You don't have to get this.
I don't expect you to understand it. Just be in the room, do the work. But the black belt, like I talk and teach it to a black belt, but I want the white belt to like try to understand it. And it could just be like, hey, when we're doing our hip escapes, here's this one thing that I noticed, and I think it'll be helpful to someone who's advanced, intermediate, or beginner.
Yeah.
So
that's important.
That's a hard thing, bro.
I love you guys.
Thanks so much.
I gotta go. Boys, don't stop because of me. I just gotta meet you. We'll link up sometime.
We'll keep talking a little bit more.
Bye, guys.
Woosah. Bye, buddy.
Shout out to Jiu-Jitsu Payment.
Yeah, Primo Payments, Jiu-Jitsu Pay, District Martial Arts, PBJJF.
Woosah, let's go.
Hey, have a safe trip. I'll
stay in
look
touch.
Keep
forward
in
to see
touch,
you,
man.
Yeah, send me all the stuff. This is mine, right?
Yeah, that's yours.
I do not like it. Bye, thank you.
Don't go too fast.
I'm gonna go super fast. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What I was going to say was, we don't do any warm-ups before my class, or during my class.
In the class.
For children, yes, because I think that's important. They're children; they need to learn that discipline, how to move their bodies and be safe. But as an adult, you know what time class starts. Show up a little bit before, get your warm-ups in, so we can use the hour for jiu-jitsu.
I some class, the fundamentals classes, I always warm up. Like a little bit more advanced. The warm up sometimes just like the drills and like depend the week. But I like the mindset sometimes, like just jumping and
the thing is, we don't have to jump in and go 100% or even
we
close
start
to that.
like
We just start moving. We just want to get a sweat going and then practice the technique, and then we'll kind of dive in. And once we have an understanding of the position better, then we can start to add a little more resistance and play with it. Like, oh, well, that didn't work for me there. Well, why? Well, we can kind of experiment.
I like the drills, not the drills, the warm up kind of like in the short drills. Like, example, if you're Toriano, you don't completely the Toriano pass, you just like jump the leg, boom,
just move a
boom,
little bit.
boom, boom, do 10 each side, the other guy do 10 each side, you start to get your blood running your body, you know what I mean? And then like, okay, after, example, if we're doing pass this week, you know, I want to learn how to shuffle the legs to the side. I'm like, okay, just 10 shuffle each side with the grips. They do 10 each side, the other do 10. All right, now we go drive the shoulders to the chest. Do the shuffle, boom, put the shoulder. Shuffle, shoulder, boom, boom. They start to get in the move we're going to do before we start to do, because they doing it on the warm up. I like that too.
And then you explain to them afterwards, like, no, this is exactly what we're doing. Like, oh, then you add context.
Yeah.
And, it makes
And they already
sense.
doing without thinking about. Yeah,
Which we're all
I
trying to
like
get
that.
them to do.
But on the fundamentals, I feel still like necessary. They learn how to to shrimp. You know what I mean? How to frame. You know, your hand will be here. Like just push your hips back now, and
Some people used to learn how to use their body because they didn't play any sports growing up. So, I mean, the amount of people I've said, move your left hand, and they move their right hand. I'm like, okay, what's going on?
But that's good. It's more normal now. We get these people on the mat, because like back in the day, only the craziest guys, the toughest one want to show up. Now I have like 30% of my members over 40 years old, and that's like it's good. I see on a good way, you know. And a couple of these guys never did any sport, just like on the computer whole day or whatever, you know, on the office. Now they on a match, you need to teaching them safely how to move his body and start to get, you know.
What's the marker for your jump? To move from the fundamentals class to move on? Is it getting to blue belt? Is it
No. My
time or
fundamentals class is my fundamentals program is like 16 weeks. And normally after the 16 weeks, you go through, you get to one stripe, you know, and you're able to jump for the intermediate 3 stripes, you're able to jump to the advance. And
Are they sparring
go.
during that 16 weeks, or is it just
only 16 weeks, only specific,
okay,
specific
positional.
trend positional sparring. Yeah, on the intermediate they start sparring like stand up with full sparring.
standing up? Yeah, that's a different beast.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I know there's a lot of gyms and different. They approach when to let people start sparring. Some people just go in there, have fun, figure it out, and then some people kind of do more positional sparring.
I do
versus one
positional
level.
spar a lot on the fundamentals.
That's
You
really
know,
important.
yeah.
Get them used to
And
those bad spots.
or sometimes when I feel the group is like it's almost ready to jump to the next level, I do short full sparring, you know. Okay, 2 minutes to start on the knees, guys. Let's go, just 2 minutes. Keep my eye on everybody to nobody get hurt.
Sure.
And okay, change of partners. Boom, boom, boom. I like it that way. I think they need to move to the next step. Ready to feel all these scenarios, you know, half guard, close guard, whatever, and then be ready to do a full spar, start stand up, bump, and boom,
And just go into it.
Yeah. But
You have your own gym too as well. Is it something similar to his as well, or
Yeah, like we do to move to the next. To go to intermediate, you need 2 strikes.
okay? That makes
Average 60 classes.
Mm-hmm.
We track everybody's progress. So 60 classes, about minimum of 5 to 6 months of
Okay.
training. So we know that people get injured because they start training before they're ready. So in my point of view, is negligent when we allow them to go without being prepared.
Sure.
So that's what we used to do over and over. That's why we didn't have much people train jiu-jitsu, because
like back in the day, no.
but yeah, we just want them to fight. We didn't teach them jiu-jitsu. So I'm big on teaching them first, and then once you're prepared, now you know what you're doing, then you can move on.
Interesting.
So I think that's this way we keep people. People usually in my point of view, they lose interest in jiu-jitsu because they get hurt. And how they get hurt, we gotta figure out why they're getting hurt. Usually, they're scrambling, because when a scramble happens, somebody got out of control. When you have 2 people out of control, we don't know the outcome. We don't know what they're gonna do. So that's usually the highest chance of getting hurt. That's why I see a lot of wrestling, they get hurt, because wrestling is about scrambling.
He's always
You know?
scrambling.
And in jiu-jitsu,
And like tangling their legs
Yeah.
in weird ways, and then
and,
they're by the time they're 16, their knees are torn apart.
and we
That's
get
true.
that's why I see, like I ask people, why people not wrestle when they are 35s for
Got the
hobby.
whole broke.
Same thing with judo. Why
But
there's no 35-year-olds
but
doing
we're
Yeah.
trying, but sometimes we're trying to push that mindset.
Only if they're on the Olympics, no, like no hobbies. I feel like these guys around 30, only if you active like a pro, going to Olympics or whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we don't see like
But
in schools now.
but
like,
jiu-jitsu is about a lifestyle, like we need to create something that we can do until we're 90. Because that's why I see the sport growing. You have more mature people able to train jiu-jitsu. Man, if you're breaking everybody in the room, they're gonna quit. Jiu-jitsu is gonna be small. That's what we used to do as an industry. We break everybody that couldn't handle that training without training them and preparing them for it. So I think nowadays we're a little bit more prepared to help more people. Like we're learning from other industries, and and like jiu-jitsu, like I said, jiu-jitsu lifestyle. Jiu-jitsu not a sport. Jiu-jitsu a martial art. So sometimes we try to treat the students as the NFL players. Hey, I want you to train like the NFL player. But hold on, I'm not here to be the next world champion. I'm here to benefit from some other aspect of jiu-jitsu. And I'm here for my mental, to relax. I'm here to learn something new. I'm here for a hobby. You're here for self-defense. But they can maybe turn to change their goals throughout training. I think we need to understand why people want to do jiu-jitsu and guide them for what they're looking for, not for what we want them to become. So I've seen that happening many times. People show, man, come here, go hard here. It's like, but hold on, but I don't want to be the next world champion. I want to do jiu-jitsu for hobby. I want to do jiu-jitsu, get better in shape. I want to get my cardio better. I want to be around the positive community. You know, like it's way beyond. You know, like we're tournaments organization, but what we try to do is way beyond competition. We try to really promote the lifestyle. You know, we try to promote the values, which takes harder educating people about, you know, what we do. You know, it takes more time and more effort. But I think we're willing to do that. You know,
that's about 100% of the members at my gym. It's all hobbyists. People just enjoy doing jiu-jitsu. So I tell people, if you're not having fun doing this, don't come to class. Because if you're not having fun, then you're only going to hate it more as time goes on. And even people that first start, like, I'm going to be here 5 times a week. I'm like,
oh, slow down, come too.
I mean, kind of, yeah. Like, you have a life. Like, you know, go out, like, spend time with your significant other, go to the park. Like, there's other things to do besides jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu's fun, but don't make it your own.
But
thing.
before people ask him like, how many times a week you think I should show up? I always say like, maximum we can. Now I say like, start with 2 days. 2 days will be good enough. You know, then you show up, you go maybe want to show up more. You start show up 2 days a week for 1 month. Maybe next month you say like, I'll try 3, 4, and 5, and
I say 3 is the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Where 1, if you come once a week, that's enough to remind you don't know any jiu-jitsu and you're not in shape to do this. Twice, you're starting to get the feel of it, but you're not coming to class enough to remember anything. And then 3 is like you start remembering because you see the moves enough time and your body's used to it. After that, have fun, but that's the sweet spot.
Consistency is the most important in my point of view. Like maybe like the guys coming 5 times a week, I see happening. I give this advice to people when I can. Man, I'm single, I'm coming 5 times a week, and then
it's always the single guy.
You know, and now I have a wife and now I have kids. I can only show up once a week. It's like keep showing up once a week. This is going to benefit you.
Yeah, if the best you can do it.
Not because you don't train 5 times a week, you should not do jiu-jitsu. Like your life will change. You just need to stay consistent.
Yeah, but I think he talk about in the beginner.
The beginning, the first
beginning. The
when
guy
they say
just
they
start.
should,
If he just start,
but
and it's same thing. Like man, come twice a week is a good time. You know, to come. I think it's important to remind people that.
And I think you can feel the guys too. You get like a 16 years old man. Bro, show up 10 times a week. The week only has 7 days. Show up 10.
I'll see you twice a day.
Whatever.
But like, I have students I see 3 times a day.
Yeah, but we get the guys like around his 30s. Maybe he got a different life, wife, kid, job. Like it's different. When he asks you that, you try to feel him. Like man, show up 2-3 times a week. He'll be good for you.
Yeah, I know. I agree with like that when you start talking about those people because. I even have people tell me, like, I can't show up until, like, 15 or 20 minutes after class starts because I have to pick up my kid. I'm like, that's fine. Just show up. I'll be happy to see you. Just hop on the mat. Just hop in class and go for it.
I think that's important to...
I think it's just more about making it welcoming as much as possible.
Welcome.
Because the more you have them on the mat, the more...
And it's a scare environment, even, like, we try to be more, like, to everyone. When people say like, man, go do a jiu-jitsu trial, they come scared. They don't come like super relaxed. They always think. Some guys think like, we go sparring today. I'm like, oh no, wait, you're not gonna spar.
I had a guy walk in with his mouth. His mouth already ready to go. I'm like, we're gonna talk first.
Relax, man. But that breakdown on the first day is important. I think so. Make they feel good and
they feel comfortable. Yeah. It's scary first step in, but sometimes I try to remind myself how they feel walking inside the school, because I cannot think as a black belt.
Right. I mean, how long you guys been doing jiu-jitsu for?
Yeah.
20 years.
20. Yeah. I mean, the first time you walked in the gym was 20 years ago. So.
Yeah.
And for me,
and then my kid, I don't remember much. I'm 10 years old. I'm
as
like,
a kid, you don't really have much.
You don't care.
Yeah.
But I try to like put myself on their shoes when they walk in. They can't. It's a place. Smell good here. Oh, clean. Oh, people organized. Oh, good environment. Okay.
I will come
Welcome.
back.
Smile. Greet the person. You know, like this makes
Difference for sure.
You never go. Mad face.
I want to be a little bit small.
You want to be a little bit small?
I was scared less. People get in the gym, those
And they
serious
see
on the
you walking
beginning,
around,
and like for kids on the beginning it's hard, man. Like things I don't teach kids anymore. I saw the kids looking up. And like, oh my god.
How much are you weigh?
I'm 260.
260.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's.
It's big. Yeah.
For a kid, you're giant.
Max is
I mean, you're giant compared to me too.
I'm
you know.
I'm carried, but if I don't talk, just be there. I saw, standing up, like cheating, like on the serious mood or whatever. I saw and I tried to break this down. Hey, what's up, man? How are you? Blah blah blah. Try to make this contacted, you know. Yeah. But I feel like if I'm a little bit small, it'll be a little bit easier.
It makes sense.
That's true. I actually have the opposite. I have big guys walk into the gym and they see me skinny and they go, "This guy can't do anything to me." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine too."
But that's a good way because you can. You prove, and then when you prove it, they like, okay, good. Where's the contractor set up?
Exactly. So like, sometimes I tell them like, "This will work," and they go, "I don't think it's gonna work." I'm like, "Well, okay, we'll find out."
Yeah.
But it's a balance, like we said.
That's funny.
What do you guys think as like tournament promoters, and what do you think the future of jiu-jitsu is? Like, where do you see it going in terms of like techniques and overall strategies? Like the ADCC, the best kind of grappling style that there is now, like the merging of wrestling and jiu-jitsu, or more IBJJF, or still.
First show, I believe jiu-jitsu will be the most, the more practicable martial arts in the future. It will be jiu-jitsu. No MMA, no Muay Thai, karate, nothing. It will be jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And I compete a lot of no gear, but I don't think so that's the way to go, especially for the growing scenario, you know what I mean? It's like, it's too much to the body, I feel. It's like no gear, yeah. It's like, especially the way going, like a lot of leg lock is, a lot of grapple, it's like a lot of wrestling. I feel like the gear will be forever, and the way to go on the growing scenario. Maybe they go get in the gym because they no gear, because now it's more on the string, a lot of string, a lot of more events is no gear, but the way to keep him longer on your school would be gear. That's how I feel. I don't know.
Yeah, I see in a different way. I see that those guys are trying to change jiu-jitsu. They're trying to get jiu-jitsu and turn to a new sport and say that and advertise
Sorry,
jiu-jitsu.
I feel no.
They
No
are.
gi is a new sport already. It's not.
It's a different.
It's
It's
a
not
different.
grappling.
Yeah,
You
no
don't care the
gear.
values. You don't care the culture.
It's a different sport.
You don't care the safety. I see the guys trying to. It's like me. I don't like football, American football, the way it is, and I change the rules in the way I want to be, and then I promote that as a soccer, for football. But it's not football. I just changed some. Well, I don't like to do.
Baseball.
I don't like baseball because I want something to be able to hit better. Maybe instead of being a baseball, I put just a piece of wood because I can hit better. I'm trying to change the sport to make whatever entertainment or whatever it is. Like I see a lot of times people trying to change the sport to achieve a goal of entertain people. But man, we gotta stick like judo. Why people don't do that to judo? They're not trying to take the gi off and say, "Oh, they're doing judo." No gi judo. They don't say that
because I feel like
judo is controlled by has a bigger
organization on the Olympics. No, I don't know. It's hard to change the rules.
It's much more organized.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they're not trying to.
But these don't happen.
Why don't you get wrestling and put the gi on the guys and do wrestling gi? That's the same thing.
Is that just sambo at that point?
Yeah. It'll be a sambo. Yeah.
Sambo, yeah.
But no, I want to call wrestling.
But
Wrestling
one thing
today.
can happen here and don't happen in Brazil is that different rules on every event. In Brazil, we have like one rules, everybody follow that. Doesn't matter the name of the event. If you compete in jiu-jitsu, it's the same rules. Every event, every state, everywhere. You know, kind of like a standard rules. Over here, man, everybody try to change the rules. I don't
To
know
make
why.
entertainment and they make dangerous for the athletes, and then more people get hurt, less people train jiu-jitsu, and worse image we get. It's, you go to compete, you have a bad experience, you break yourself, you're gonna tell people never do that. Those guys are crazy. It's like coming to a school and have a bad experience in a school. It doesn't not hurt the school. It hurt us as a whole because the guy goes to someone close to you. They have a really bad experience. The guy gonna leave jiu-jitsu. They're never gonna come back to you. Maybe that can show better, give them really expose jiu-jitsu on that way. You know that could benefit his life. So I think that our worst competitors are enemies are the bad jiu-jitsu, that bad exposure of jiu-jitsu, because it hurt the whole community. Man, if a bad police officer hurts all the organization, one bad decision, you know, a bad reputation. You know, it's like in jiu-jitsu. Man, we need to think like that. I'm not really representing my school. I'm representing jiu-jitsu. What are my actions as a jiu-jitsu representative? That's how we should think.
That's so deep.
Our student, no, but hey, if
But it's true, because people will see you like a jiu-jitsu guy, you know, a jiu-jitsu person.
your students
Jiu-jitsu.
are
That would be the
representing jiu-jitsu.
stereotype.
Yeah, stereotype.
No,
If you kill somebody, they will say like the jiu-jitsu coach or whatever. That I mean, it's not gonna say on your name. I think so.
Hey, your student is a. Let's think you have a doctor student. When he goes to the doctor Drew, he's the jiu-jitsu guy. He's not the lawyer, the doctor.
Well, I'm the
He's the
jiu-jitsu guy.
jiu-jitsu
I
guy.
walk into circles. I get it.
Yeah.
You're the jiu-jitsu guy. Guess what? They're gonna look jiu-jitsu through you. If you're a bad guy, if you're a bad representative of jiu-jitsu, that's how they're gonna see jiu-jitsu.
That's true.
And we need to embrace that. Man, all my students, I do a belt test and I tell them, look, you represent jiu-jitsu. You need to carry those values on and off the mat. Every time you go outside, you represent jiu-jitsu. Every time you leave Ogogi, you represent jiu-jitsu. So you're not representing us only. You represent the whole community of jiu-jitsu. And that's how I think. I don't know if I'm right, if I'm wrong, but that's my vision because that's the way for us to grow. I'm not thinking about now. I'm thinking about 10, 20 years from now. When my kid, maybe you have a kid, or the kids that we're teaching now, they want to leave jiu-jitsu. They want to be part of this community, you know, and we hope they have a better pattern or road, more what is the word? Constructed road for them to walk and drive. You know, I think that's how we should think.
Like the people on the past did it to us.
They
you know,
did to us.
It's a little bit better now to
Like,
live by
what
jiu-jitsu.
PBJJF?
You don't see, back in the day, most of the jiu-jitsu instructors need to have a two job. Now we can live by teaching, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And
With
somebody,
lucky.
because then
They thought-
somebody back in the day tried the road to we pass now.
Because if we think about just now, we're gonna make decisions that can hurt them later. We see, like you see black belts making not representing jiu-jitsu in a positive way and hurting us. It does not hurt only us; it hurts everybody.
Yeah, that's the weird part. People just they associate being a black belt with being a good person, and that's not true at all.
Not true. It's not everyone.
Yeah, you can be good at jiu-jitsu and still be a bad person.
But that starts from your class, from your school,
Yes.
because you can. Hopefully, you can help that person to be better as a black belt,
Yeah,
to
just,
become a black belt. You know, you shape them as a coach and professor.
just by hopefully just setting a good example. I don't like to try to tell people what to do, so I just try to just conduct myself how I think is the best way to go about it, and then hopefully that sinks in. If it does, it doesn't. I can't control that. What was I gonna say? I had a thought and it left me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we need to think about that when we do when we do tournaments. We need to think about.
One of my favorite things is when people first come into a gym and they're very nervous, and after being there for maybe 2 or 3 months, it's like, oh, when I first came in, all you guys are so scary looking, and now you're some of the nicest people ever.
That happens a lot.
I love that. That's one of my favorite things, that we can take something that looks so aggressive and potentially violent, and everyone there is just like all friends, and just good and willing to help each other. Like, that's my favorite part about being in a
The community on jiu-jitsu is good. People get really friendly, you know. That's I like when people from the school start getting a friendly relationship, you know, and they going out doing something. And I saw on the social media, I'm like, that's good. That's the way. These keep the group more tight, you know. I like to do some events too sometimes, like UFC. But I say in the class, hey, I go watch UFC on this place. If somebody want to show up, I'll be there. I don't invite anyone directly, do you understand? But like, I'll be there. If somebody want to go, please show up. And that's cool. Cause maybe if like, I'm like, hey, let's go watch the UFC, and JP don't get invited, he go get mad. You know what I mean? On the class. But if I say, I'll be there. If you guys want to go, it's fine. It's different. You know?
No, I remember I was at a BJJ Globetrotters camp. This was about 2 years ago. And my flight got canceled, and I couldn't get back to DC, and the airline wasn't helping me with hotel or anything. And at the camp, 2 guys there were like, oh, we got a place. Come sleep at our place tonight, and we'll drive you to the airport tomorrow. I met those guys like 3 days before that, you know what I mean? It's a very special thing when I think
on jiu-jitsu.
It connects you a lot.
I tell my students too, now, every place you go travel, whatever, you need to go visit a school. Like, bring your gi, bring your hash guard, whatever, and go meet people. Go know the culture of that school, whatever. That's gonna add to a lot on your life. And they doing, a lot of my students doing. When they go travel to work, whatever, minimum they bring a short and a hash guard, you know, and try to visit the schools. That's the way, when you go meet the new people, go learn from that, you know, learn new skills. I just try like it. Where you going? I'm looking for, like, if I have a friend or whatever, if I know somebody in this area, cause then you have a better welcome. You know what I mean? I feel like, hey, if I have my, for example, my friend in North Carolina, I have a student, he go to North Carolina to work like every 2 months, you know. He know already my students. The first time I was just like, hey, my student will stop by maybe tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. When my students get there, my friend already know his name or whatever. Like, hey, how are you, George, blah, blah, blah. That's, you train with Max. Way more welcome. It's different, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it, guys. Good, you know?
Yeah. Shout out to Ron. Ron sent us message here. George, you know, shout out to everybody watching.
To the guys who support us now. That's good.
Yeah. So what brought you to DC?
Oh, long story short, I moved to DC for a different job, and that job did not work out. I got fired from that job. But while I was looking for another job, a guy that I was training with, the gym was reopening after COVID, and he asked, would you like to coach? And I was just a purple belt at the time, and I needed pocket money while I was looking for a job. So I said yes, and I met the guy that runs the gym, or owns the gym, and he said, you can teach as little as much as you want. And I was like, okay.
I want to teach you all day.
So I started teaching a lot of the classes, and I just snowballed. I realized, I can pay rent, I can pay my bills, I can live in DC and teach jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
That's kind of how it all started, and that was 2 years ago. So it's a little over now that.
And they're like, oh, that's a good life.
It really is. I mean, yeah, I have to get up at 5:30.
Be on these suits every day, you know. Like,
I would kill me. Sitting behind a desk, that would drive me insane. But rolling around the floor all day, that's fine.
I can do that forever.
Yeah, that's what brought me to DC from North Carolina originally.
That's awesome. Where in North Carolina?
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Mm-hmm. So
My friend is in Charlotte.
we see you said
Yeah, Art Suave, his school. He just opened maybe 2, 3 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that might have been right when I left then.
Probably.
I have two couple friends, Lucas Lepre,
Yeah.
Frederico, Fred, his cousin.
Yeah. There's a lot of that community is growing.
It's
Really
growing a
big.
lot, yeah.
Really, one of a good gym that I like to go visit on the weekends was the Charlotte Jiu-Jitsu Academy.
That's where
My friend, he go there all the time.
Yeah,
Throw with Piper.
Piper,
Piper, man. Shout out to Piper, man. I love that guy.
They
Do they?
compete.
Oh, that's great. I mean, Piper
Man.
wouldn't remember who I am, but he was always really nice to me.
This is my friend who has a school there, Iago.
Oh, okay. I remember that.
He train a lot with Pipe, for real.
Yeah, Piper
That's
put me
cool.
in a crucifix 4 times in 1 round. Yeah, just over and over. It was
That's cool, man. Piper, a really nice guy. Man.
If somebody wants to train with you,
Mhm.
how they can find you, where they should
You can go on hstreetbjj.com. Fill an interest form there. I will be the guy that usually responds. Or if you have some experience, please come on by for a free trial.
Can they
class.
find you on some social media? Or
You can go on Capital MMA H Street. You can find our social there. Also, Alfredo Atencio. You can probably find me there too if you want to reach out directly to me. But yeah, anyone's welcome to come train.
Awesome, that's great.
That's great, man.
I forgot to invite you and your students come to PBJJF World.
Please.
I think you guys are gonna have such a great experience and really be able to see. I think some of your students already come. See what we're really doing, in terms of executing the work to make this happen, Alfredo, thank you so much. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors. So Brave Kimonos, thank you guys for support PBJJF. Brave Kimonos is the best jiu-jitsu gear there in the DMV area. Thank you for supporting PBJJF. If you guys want to go to bravekimonos.com, use 10% off.
Right before I moved, I was sparring with him, and he kneed me in the chest so hard. I dropped to the floor. Yeah.
That's cool. He doing good in UFC now,
Yeah,
man.
he's-
It's like three or four fights back to back. Sorry, man. Three or four fights back to back now. Yeah.
No, he's not head kicking people unconscious. I think he ran into one Russian guy that gave him trouble, but he's been on a really good streak lately. I'm happy.
That's
for
good.
him.
Good for him. Iago train with him all the time too. That's cool.
All right, thank you guys.